Your mentality that you've tried to instill in them, I mean, how has that progressed over the spring? I mean, what's the thing that you wanted to put in them, and how have you seen them kind of adapt your mentality?
I didn't want these kids to think that they were the second part of the team. I've always trained my guys that we'll never be the weakest link. I'll never be the weakest link as a coach. And I hope that rubs off on them. And it's not only from the football standpoint, but from life. I always tell the guys, and I'm kind of going off on a tangent, I don't ever want my kids to look up at me and say, man, my dad's a mess up. And that's how I want this team to look at our receiving corps. I don't want them to look at us as the weak link or the receivers cost us a game. I don't want it to be added pressure, but I want you to understand that it is pressure. And it's pressure to go out and survive in this world. It's pressure to go out there and survive in the SEC. And we're going to do everything in our power to hold up our end of the bargain through practice, through where we carry ourselves on and off the field. And that mentality of being those dogs, and having that mentality that I will not be defeated is what I've tried to instill in these guys. And so far, I think a lot of those guys have responded.
Having said that, I think you kind of answered some of my questions, but I knew you looked at the film when you first got here, and you saw where your receivers were, the young guys and what they did last year. Based on that, what do you see? How much improvement do you see? You see a lot of improvement, or what?
I think we've made progress. I don't think we've arrived. I know we haven't. I know there's a lot of work to get done, and it's just a situation where I told our guys I'm never going to be satisfied, and I don't want them to ever be satisfied. I mean, because I'm sure you've heard Coach Stoops say, the moment you think you've arrived, you haven't. I've been around this game long enough to understand that, and to try and get these guys to have that understanding and have that mentality that they're never going to be good enough. It's something that we as athletes have always been told, you're never going to be good enough. So to keep striving for perfection is something that we harp here a lot as an offensive staff, and Coach Stoops does it as a head coach.
It's been our priority making contested catches, making plays. Has anybody surprised you being able to do that? I mean, have they?
Not surprising. They have responded. The one guy that I've fallen in love with because of that is David Bouvier. David Bouvier.
Yeah.
He just competes his tail off. But Lynn has been in that situation. Cleavon's been in it. Isaiah, Josh, everybody's shown that they can make those plays. And it's something I was told a long time ago by my head coach when I was playing. If I see you do it once, I expect you to do it that way all the time. So that's that added pressure to get the job done.
Eddie said that's probably the biggest difference between the first and second scrimmage is your guys making plays. How important is it to see them be able to do that in front of the bright lights Friday?
It'll be a big thing, And my deal with my guys is, fellas, just go out and play. I mean, you've been playing football for a long time. It's a game. People make it hard, And if you just go out and do the things that you're coached to do and that you're capable of doing, we'll be fine. I'm not going to ask these guys to go out and be Superman. I just need them to be the best, whoever it is, Lynn, best Dave. I need you to be the best Isaiah, Josh, that you can be. And if you do that with the coaching and the schemes that we put together as an offensive unit, we'll be fine.
Does a guy like David, who you mentioned, see what Charles Walker did for this offense and maybe draw a little bit from that and say, hey, I could be that guy?
There's no doubt about it. And, I actually pulled him aside today, and because I really didn't realize that he was a senior. I'm not even going to lie to you. I didn't realize he was a senior, and we had such a big gap between him and the other guys. So I told him, I said, man, I want you to become more vocal, because he's a guy that leads by example. I mean, he comes to work every day. He does amazing things on the football field, and he's quiet as a church mouse. And, I think a lot of guys in the room have a lot of respect for him. And if he says something, I really truly believe that they'll listen to him. And to answer your question about watching a guy like Charles do what he did last year, of course. I mean, here's a guy that probably came up the same way. Everybody's looking at this guy. He and then to go make the plays that he made for for us last year, it's got to be inspiring for Dave and a lot of those guys in that room.
When we met you, you talked about being a walk-on. Did you give him that walk-on talk?
Oh yeah, every last one of them. You know, even the guys that are on scholarship. You know, and it's the story of just persevering. You know, being able to battle and believe in yourself. And I mean, Dave has put himself in a position to be in that same spotlight. You know, and for the scholarship guys, it's the same thing. I mean, if we're out here competing, and if you're not taking care of your business, somebody's going to take your job.